Hi, my name is Whitney Q. I am a content creator, and one word to describe me is bubbly.
Hi everyone, my name is Toyin. I currently work in financial services regulation, and I think one word that would describe me is energetic.
Hi everyone, I'm Tiwa. I'm a confidence coach, and one word that will describe me is confident.
When was the last time you felt most yourself?
Ooh.
That was when did I film that video? Tuesday or Wednesday? I filmed a video about Christmas. If you don't know, I love Christmas so much. Like, look, I got Christmas trees here. Like, I love Christmas, so I can't. When I have a child, I'm scared of what I'm going to do for their first Christmas because I think I'm gonna go over the top. But I filmed a video. I have this Christmas tree game. Feel free to join in. But I have this Christmas tree game that I do every single year, and you have to basically guess how many Christmas trees I am going to see. So I count it physically, and you have to guess. And people come with a spectrum of numbers here and there, and it brings everybody together. People love the game. People hate the game because it's like, they don't know how many trees I'm going to see, and there's a prize with it as well. So when I was filming the video, like explaining what the game was, I was just so happy and like literally in my element. So as soon as you asked that question, I was like, oh yes, it's when it was just literally the other day. And I'm so excited to be entering into the month of December because it's the month that I was born. And it's been such a tough year. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to enter the last year, because at the beginning of the year, everything was very uncertain with everything that was happening. So I was so blessed to enter into this festive season. And it's a season that I love so much. So that is a point when I just mostly felt myself. It was something that just rose off my tongue with Christmas, festive, people coming together, the season of giving, appreciating the small things in life. So yeah, that's the last time I felt most myself. I know I'm so cheesy, like I'm literally so cheesy, but it just brings me so much joy.
I think for me it was like, so myself and Abisoye recently filmed something for church, like I want to say it was like last week Tuesday. Abisoye, I think it was last Tuesday.
Yeah, last week Tuesday.
And I think that was definitely when I've like most recently I felt myself, because it was just so fun to do. Like, you know, we were on this big stage, we were doing all these like takes, and they were like counting us in, and we look into the camera, and then we were getting mic'd up. And I think like Whitney, I'm an extrovert as well, so anything that involves talking, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And I was just being so goofy, like I was, because it's such a massive stage, I was pretending like I was doing like a musical theatre production. So I was like,
really was going in.
So the people in the media thing, they were just cracking up, they were just laughing. And I think it's because of the fact that not only because it's to do with musical performance and recording and filming, I think, you know, being away from like home and doing something fun, and obviously not having to speak about the girls and whatever, I'm just there by myself. That was just like amazing. I had so much fun doing that. So yeah, that was when I felt like most myself, I would say.
Nice. I've got such a split personality in terms of like, I love enjoyment and I love relaxation and rest, but I also, my heart is on fire when I'm speaking and I'm running a workshop or things like that. So in terms of the enjoyment side, the last time I felt like truly myself was literally, I went on holiday to Greece in September. You enjoyed. And wow, I did the absolute most. And I said, yes, this is who I am. This is the life I am born to live. Like it was just, it was gorgeous. It was like everything I needed in life. And it just made me so happy. And I really felt like myself. So there's that side of me, and like when I'm having like my bubble baths or like I'm having like a nice glass of wine, like that feels very much like me. But also when I'm on like game mode and I'm running, like last week I ran like 4 workshops in the week. Like I had one every evening and then like another one during the day. And just the energy that I bring when I'm speaking, and like I'm putting on a webinar for women. So I'm a confidence coach, just for a bit of background. And my mission in life is really to to wake women up to their worth so they can be confident, unstoppable, and really just live the life that they truly desire. So whenever I'm doing anything to do with waking women up or empowering women, that's when I feel my truest self, because I feel like that's my mission. That's what I was born to do. But also when I'm enjoying myself and, you know, with the cocktails in a bikini with some palm trees, that is also my true self. So
I love it. I love it. And honestly, we were all living through you. I just go on her Instagram and anyway. I think you even posted something recently, and I was just like, again, you're reminding us of the enjoyment that you did. So thank you so much. I would say mine was probably yesterday. I was editing something for someone, and yeah, I just love editing, like just finding those lovely bits about people, and you know, finding great ways to showcase that in the best way. And yeah, I just love it, and it comes together and you're just like like, oh wow, they're gonna love this, you know. So yeah, that's where I felt like I was cheating myself. Okay, we have 15 minutes, so let's go. So the word is single. Did anybody watch Single Ladies, that show?
No.
Ladies, no? Okay,
No.
well, I'm just gonna let that go then. I was gonna try and do like a moment with this. If anybody's watching and you've watched it, message me. So yes, single. How okay, so as a teenager being single, I don't feel like we used the word single as a teenager, or I didn't. I felt like I just said I don't have a man. You know, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't know, like, well, how did you guys use that word?
No, no. After my first breakup, I think that's when I started using the word single, because it's like, oh, I'm single. After my first boyfriend that I broke up with him, I think that's when I was like, oh, I'm single. And that was when I was 21. So not during a teenager, no.
I went to an all-girls boarding school, so yeah. Like, it was very much aware if you had a boyfriend or you didn't, you were single. Yeah, like, especially like a British boarding school, like, it was definitely a thing.
Okay. What about you, Toyin?
No, I don't think I really use that word. Like you said, I think people just go, no, I don't have a man. Like you said, I don't have a man.
I have a man.
I don't think we said the word single, no.
Okay, so let's say, how important was it? Okay, no, let me rephrase this. Was it important for you when you were younger to be in a relationship or to be with somebody?
What age?
I would say from year 9 onwards.
Secondary school, no.
Okay.
Secondary school, that wasn't even on my mind at all. Oh my gosh, I did have. Yeah, I don't know if it's my mindset now, but I'm not taking anything that I had in secondary school seriously. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, I think I went out with someone. That's it. When you're going out with someone, that shows that you have a boyfriend. Yeah, I'm going out with
someone.
Yeah. So I went out with someone in year 8, and then the next day I broke up with him. I couldn't even look at him. I was so shy. I was so like, oh my gosh. Like, let's say his name is John. There's John. Like, don't look at him. The next day I told someone to tell him that we're not together anymore. It was so useless. So relationships wasn't in my mind at all. Friendship was way more important to me in secondary school, if anything. Having friends, that was way more important to me. But I think then I got into my first relationship the second year. I was sixth form. So then that's when I got into relationships. I was 17 then. But prior to that, no, I wasn't like, yeah, I need to have a man. It was, and then I think my friends around me, no one else had a man, so we were all single together. So it wasn't really a thing. It was all about being friends and going to the cinema and going ice skating and spending time with your friends. That's what was important to me in secondary school.
Okay, so maybe I should rephrase. At what point was it obvious to you that being single was a thing?
After my first breakup, for me.
Okay.
Yeah, or when I went into my relationship, it wasn't like I wanted to go into, like, I was looking for a man. It kind of happened. But so obviously experienced that relationship for 3.5 years and then coming out of it single. And I was like, oh, I'm here. I'm single.
3.5 years.
Yeah. It was a young
age.
Such a waste of my time. But anyway, let's not get into that. But it was just literally like, oh, I'm single. And I think when I was younger, I used to think, oh, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to be married with 3 kids, a house, everything. But so when I was 21, I was like, okay, cool, I'm single. I need to get married by 25. And that's when I started putting pressure on myself that being single isn't what I want to be.
Who started this 25-year-old
I don't know. I don't know, because everyone seems to have the same vision that when they're 25, everything has to be set. Your career, your dog, the kids, the house, everything.
I remember one of my college teachers, and I just remember, like, even as I'm saying that, I actually remember she was my law A-level teacher, and she was saying, like, girls, like, I don't know why you guys feel like at 25, blah, 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 that's not how life works. In my head, I was like, God forbid, that's how my life works.
Oh my gosh.
Works, girls, you know, life doesn't happen like for who? For you, maybe it didn't work for me or work. So I definitely agree with the whole 25 thing and the pressure. But I think for me, like in secondary school, all my friends had like guys and stuff. But I think for me, because I would see them crying and stuff, I was just like, oh my God, I don't want that. So it wasn't like a pressure to like have a guy. It was more like, oh my gosh, that's what I don't want. Like they'll be on the stairs, you know, outside the music room crying because one guy did this. It's just ridiculous. So but I think sixth form, like, definitely was probably when you would see more relationships. You would start to think, okay, cool, maybe I should be in a relationship. But to be fair, I wasn't the relationship type. I was always scared of commitment, which I don't know why, because it's not like I have any life experiences of people like being committed and it just all falling over. But I was really scared of like committing to a guy. So I remember there was a guy in my first year that was like, oh, Toyin, I'm just doing this for 1 year, 3 years. I was like, 3 years? Please. No time. Like, this was in first year, when we're 18. So he was trying to tell me that, you know, he's doing all of this so that we can be committed for a long time. And I was just like, what? Can you just fall back for 1 second? So yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it was more like probably like after I graduated, it's like, okay, maybe I should start. But not really. If I'm being honest, I was really weird like that. I wasn't really into the whole, oh my gosh, I need to have a man type of thing. I was more like, I need to get my money up. I need to get my career up. I want to plan all those things. Then we can talk about, you know, a guy and a husband and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with you, especially when you say when you graduate, because when you graduate, it's kind of you're taken out of the bubble of being protected by education. So now you're into the real world, and your aunties and uncles are side eyeing you, like, okay, so where's the man now? And then that's when you realize that you're single. So I think education really protected me. I remember that I wanted to introduce my boyfriend at the time to my mom, and I was maybe 19, 20 in uni. And my mom said to me, I'm not interested in no boyfriend. You need to finish your books. When you finish your books, then you can tell me about boyfriend. I'm not interested. So then that didn't happen. So it's when I left uni and I finished uni, I graduated, that's when I was like, okay, I need to get a man or something. Like, I need to be in something. But during uni, I shouldn't have had a boyfriend during uni, if I'm honest with you. And I understand my mom's point of view now, but I agree with you, Toyin, when you say once you graduated, that's kind of when you're aware of these things, because that's what's expected of you now, to get married.
Yeah. Okay, I got 2 questions, one for Tiwa and one for Toyin. Tiwa, so you went to boarding school. So at what point for you was it? I mean, I know that you're saying because you were at boarding school, if somebody had a boyfriend, it was obvious. But for you, at what point did it become like a thing? Like, oh yeah, like I want to be in a relationship. Like the single life, not for me.
So I've actually been in relationships a lot, and I don't think it was ever because I felt like I need to have a boyfriend to validate me in any sort of way. It just always happened that there was just always a guy that I ended up speaking to loads, and then it kind of fell into it. But so before I went to an all-girls boarding school, I was in a mixed school in Nigeria. And that was where I had my first kind of like boyfriend at 13. And it was literally like love at first sight type of thing, where we kind of like both saw each other. And when I say like my knees were weak, like like my knees were weak. But so that's where the first kind of like, but before that, yeah, I did have my primary school boyfriend as well. Like I don't know, there was just always a guy in my life, but it's not like I was desperate for it. I was just kind of like always doing my own thing, and then there was always a guy there that was trying to make me his girlfriend, that type of thing. So that relationship went on from like year 8 to like year 11 on and off. And then I actually realized, nah, like he's not actually the one for me. So I ended it. And then my guy best friend, who was like with me throughout, like just like we would talk regularly, we started realizing like, oh, actually there might be something going on here. And that was when we were 18. So we started going out when we were 18, just before uni started. And we've been going out since, so like 9 years now. Yeah, so we've been in a 9-year relationship, and he was not the love at first sight guy. He was just the best friend who we were always talking and laughing. And then as we got older, I realized that's what I wanted more in a partner, was the best friend angle than the, oh, love at first sight and intense love and toxic. I would rather just have like, oh, we're best friends and like, I love you at the same time. I think that's what has actually sustained us, like having a friendship in the relationship versus the, oh my gosh, I love you so much kind of intense love. So I haven't really been single for a lot of time in my life, but I think being in school and like everyone having like boyfriends and stuff like that, and I think when you're in an all girl school, sometimes they make you feel weird for not having a boyfriend, because when there's socials and things like that, it's always the girl with a guy that seems to be cooler than girls who aren't. So I've seen a lot, like in my friendship group, and I didn't really care about that kind of stuff because I was confident in myself, but a lot of girls will feel insecure for the fact that they don't have a boyfriend, and so they will just take rubbish from whatever man comes their way just so they can say, I have a boyfriend. Yeah. And for me, that was something I was never, ever prepared to do. The moment I sense rubbish, I am gone. And I let every guy know that I'm dating, like, listen, I have no issues being single whatsoever. So if I sense any rubbish, like, forget it. Like, there's no, oh, I'm holding on to you, you know, oh, and I think that attitude, yeah, has really made me have really healthy relationships in my life, because I just don't put up with it. And so when you have a fear of being single, you tolerate a lot more rubbish in relationships than you really should. So I think the key thing is like, to embrace like single doesn't really mean anything. It's just like, it is what it is, right? And then actually being secure in yourself and loving yourself enough so that people don't treat you however they want to.
So, okay, let me put a scenario. Let's say you've been waiting, you've been wanting to be in a relationship for a long time now, and most of your friends are in relationships or married, and they're telling you all the time, you don't know what you have. You can do anything you like. You can, you can go to another country, you can do this and that. But, sometimes to a single person, that type of advice or that type of, thinking doesn't help them. Do you feel that that's okay for somebody to make single people feel like, you're not using your time wisely? You can do everything and anything.
I think as human beings, we don't know what we have until it's gone. And you don't understand things until you actually go through certain things, and then you realize that, okay, cool, that was that season for me to do X, Y, Z. To be honest, even though, well, because I do like marriage counseling and stuff, I could understand that the next stage of my life I'm going to, it's generally going to be different. There's people that I don't want to change when I get married or anything like that, but it's change that is going to happen. So I guess when people are married and they say you don't know what you have because you're single, it's because you literally can be very, 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 very selfish. You can be so selfish that you can make a decision and up and go, and the only person that it affects is you. Whereby when you're in a relationship, when you're married, you do have to basically have conversations before you can do certain things. There might be, for with me and my partner, if I wanted to go on holiday and I can book a holiday and then tell him in 2 weeks' time, oh, I booked that holiday, I'm going. And he wouldn't mind, because that's something that he's not bothered about. But there might be certain things that I would have to consult him in situations, and then before I can do that, I can go forward. So I guess it's that we're not telling single people that you don't know what you have, but I think it's to value the season that you're in now, because once you go into the next season, you're not going to have that season again. And everything that you want, not that you can't chase your dreams whilst you're married, or you can't do this, it's just different. How you have to move is just different. And I've learned so much in marriage counseling that it's literally like the two of you becoming one and molding into one. So there's going to be parts of you that's going to change. There's going to be dynamics that's going to change, but it doesn't mean you're going to change your character, but it's just that you have to approach things in a different way. So when you're single, it's just literally like, woo, I want to move to Spain tomorrow. You don't need to think about anything or anyone. You can just go ahead and do it. So I don't think it's like you don't know what you have, but I think it's just to appreciate what you have, and not to listen to the aunties and uncles that are like, oh, you're still single. Trust me. There's many aunties and uncles that are in marriages that they don't want to be in, and they're mostly hating on you because I'm telling you. So just appreciate the season you are in and do everything that you want to do. And then when that next season comes, you can be like, okay, I used my time wisely, or I did things that I wanted to do without holding back. Because I feel like people just concentrate so much on getting married, that they don't even actually look at where they are at the moment and what they can do in that season. So I don't see, I understand what you mean. It can be a bit like kind of insensitive and like, oh, you don't know what you have. But I don't think it is insensitive. And I think it's actually quite sound advice, because the aunties and uncles are going to give you wrong advice. They just want everyone to be married. I don't know.
The aunties and uncles, they're really getting it.
Can I say something on the pressure from aunties and uncles? I think it actually comes from the fact that they just want to attend a wedding and celebrate.
Honestly.
It has nothing to do with actually you as a person getting married and having a healthy marital life. They literally just want to attend a party. So when you realize that, oh, they're asking you, when will you marry? When will you marry? It has nothing to do with because they see the value marriage is going to have on your life. It's actually that they just want a reason to celebrate and come to a wedding with free food and free alcohol. So, you know, that is something to bear in mind. Don't internalize all these questions. When will you marry? When will you marry? Don't put that pressure on yourself. People just want the party, and when the party's done, they don't talk to you about anything else. You know.
Somebody recently said, "Yep, it's they want the party, and then the next pressure will be you have your child. Once you have the first child, then you won't see them again. Like they're just looking.
Sometimes they're like, where's the second child? Then when you have the second child, that's it.
That's it. You won't hear from them again. Okay, great. We are out of time, but I have one question to Toyin. The last question I have for Toyin is, I know that Toyin, you know, you mentioned to me that if you didn't get married when you did, marriage would not have been in sight for a while, because you were thinking about your business, your career, so like what advice would you give for somebody who is quite career driven as well when it comes to the whole singleness and, you know, relationships?
I mean, I think it's like, you know, what Whitney said about the fact that you being married is not going to stop you from achieving your goals. You just have to approach things differently. I think for me, I was concerned that I would be so selfish with my career and my ambition and my goals that it would have just been too late. I would have just been putting my head down, going, and then I would have woken up, I would have been 50, and it would be like, there's no husband, there's no kids, that type of thing. And I think it's just for people who are career driven and who are ambitious, it's just to like have the balance, do you know what I mean? Like, I've been married, like 6 years now, and like Toby, who's my husband, like he is like my number one like rider. Like he would be like, no, Toyin, you can do it. Even when I feel like, no, I can't do it, it's too much, I can't go for this job interview, like he's there like, no, you can, you know. So it's like you even have someone in your corner to like push you. It's about having the right man. That's the thing. The man that will bring out those traits, those strengths, that will nurture that kind of stuff and not be an impediment and not be blocking you. Like, no, you can't reach there, no, you can't do that. If you're going to marry that kind of man, then yeah, you should probably delay marriage, because having that kind of person is not going to be good for you and for your union as well. So I think for career women and ambitious women, it's about marrying the right man. Like, don't see it as like, oh, marriage is like gonna stop me. It's more like, okay, this kind of man will stop me. But if the man that approaches me is one that's gonna push me, gonna promote me, gonna encourage me, then I'm good to go. We'll conquer the world together. So that's what I would say to those kind of women. Like, don't feel that marriage will stop you.
Reach. Thank you so much. Do you want to say something to her?
No, I was saying so key. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies. I've learned a lot. This has been great.
The young people who think that they're broke because of what they see on YouTube and what they see on social media, they are, I won't say that they're forced, but they're definitely being groomed into making certain decisions, and people are selling a dream to them, telling them that this is an opportunity for them to get their mum out their hood, you know, to have the latest trainers, to have the latest jackets, whatever it is. And the reality of it is they've got to work a different type of work that I had to do when I was 17. You know, I'm actually talking about young people who are younger than that. You know, what they have to do at 14, 15 is putting their lives at danger, like literally, like putting their lives in danger, all because they believe that they're broke, and all because they want to then change that. They want to do something about that, and social media plays a massive part in that, because they see their other friends who are shotting, you know, and now driving the latest cars and doing whatever, and they think, yeah, you know what, I need to do that. And so I think it's a real problem, because the people that I used to look up to and adore were so far removed from me that I didn't necessarily think it was necessary to then go out and do certain things to get to where they are.